Albus Dumbledore and Gellert Grindelwald are to this day considered two of the most powerful wizards of the modern age. If both of these wizards' names were used in the same sentence within the wizarding world, then it would most likely be in relation to what is considered by many as the greatest duel ever witnessed. This duel between the two was said to last for a number of hours and was the highest test of physical endurance. Although both wizards were infamous for different reasons, one thing they shared in common was their level of power, and more importantly, their lust for it. Yet before the fame, notoriety and exposure, these two men were once the closest of friends. It has been heavily speculated that it was more than just friendship, and it's widely accepted by many that this was the case. The vast majority of Harry Potter fans will be aware that on the day that they were due to set out on their journey, Dumbledore and Grindelwald's partnership dissolved when young Ariana Dumbledore was killed in the crossfire of a three-way duel between Albus, Gellert and Albus's brother, Aberforth. Immediately after the duel and Ariana's death, Grindelwald disapparated and later began his solo assault for what he believed was the benefit of the wizarding world. Dumbledore, distraught over his sister's death, subdued any yearning for greatness and devoted his life to teaching. Albus Dumbledore and Gellert Grindelwald were setting out to achieve an unrivaled level of power before the unfortunate events terminated their goals to dominate the planet. So, what if Ariana never died? And what if their friendship never dissolved? How did Albus and Gellert actually plan to be successful in conquering the Muggle world? In order to answer these questions, we first need to know what exactly the two young wizards planned to do, what motivated them to do it, and how they planned on doing it. And finally, what would have happened if they had achieved these goals? Albus and Gellert met at a very young age in Godric's Hollow. They both entered each other's lives at a point where they both needed someone like the other. Gellert, expelled from Durmstrang Institute, perhaps needed his wild attitude toned down by Albus's reason, while Albus himself craved the exciting aspects surrounding his new friend and yearned to make something more of his life. What these two men agreed upon was their belief that the wizarding world was superior to the Muggle world in every way, yet they were forced to hide and conceal who they truly are. Ending the international statute of secrecy was the stem of motivation for the pair. This was their overall goal, to finally break the barrier between the two worlds. It was their intention to enslave the Muggle race and rank them in terms of their importance. But I personally feel there is a lot more to how they intend the Muggle race to be dealt with. And yes, Albus Dumbledore once wanted to enslave Muggles, but the character we know from the books was not the young man I'm speaking of now. He still, however, had his moral fibre, but suppressed it with his and Gellert's view that all future actions were for the greater good of wizard kind. The greater good, as many of you know, was the term of expression used by the pair to justify any action carried out in order to secure their new world. The duo also set about locating the Deathly Hallows in order to become the masters of death. Through wielding the Elder Wand, they believed they could not be matched in combat, and more importantly, they would create many powerful spells together. And although young, these were two of the brightest and eccentric young minds to actually fulfill their potential, even using dark magic if necessary. And through the use of the Cloak of Invisibility, they could infiltrate the most seclusive of locations. But it was how they planned on using the Resurrection Stone that would be key to their success. Gellert intended to raise an army of Inferi through the stone's power, though this ability was later disproven as the Resurrection Stone revives lost loved ones, not someone's choice of the deceased beings. Although it could be debated that there is a possibility of somehow manipulating the Resurrection Stone, but again, a hollow see-through being cannot have much physical effect, but it could be an intimidating sight. While it is clear that these ideas for world domination came from Grindelwald himself, Albus agreed with him more so out of blindness as he truly loved Gellert. Had they been successful and managed to achieve their goals, I believe they would eventually separate, as Albus would have eventually realised the many mistakes he's made in his quest for power alongside Gellert. They would have been known as criminals of the wizarding world, so regardless of Dumbledore's feelings of regret, his career in teaching would have never materialised, even later in life, which in turn would have never led to his discovery of young Tom Riddle in Wold's orphanage that fateful day. Not to say that another professor wouldn't have found the boy that would later succeed Grindelwald in notoriety. Dumbledore's reputation would now be that of a dark wizard. So if the international statute of secrecy had been broken to an extent of disrepair, I believe this would have prompted the rest of the wizarding world to act in accordance to what these two outlaws believed should be just, regardless of if they wanted to or not. And the Ministry would have no choice but to protect the interests of every witch and wizard, and may regrettably launch an attack in order to subdue the sheer power of the Muggle world. In conclusion, I believe that together Albus Dumbledore and Gellert Grindelwald had this plan in mind all along, not just to single-handedly enslave Muggles with themselves as rulers, but to break the international statute of secrecy beyond repair and let the result of these actions spark the chain reaction they had hoped for. They would be looked upon as heroes by some and criminals by others, but I believe that had these two men kept their friendship intact and on that fateful day Ariana had survived, then the wizarding world would have been a much different place today. There you have it. Thank you very much for watching today's video, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, then please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, as it helps the video out a great deal, and it also helps the channel continue to grow. I know a lot of you have been asking for longer videos, so this video today is over 6 minutes long, and I hope it makes you all happy. Please continue to leave your video suggestions in the comment section below. As I said, they are literally fueling the channel, and your choice could be next. Also, I would love to know what you think about Gellert Grindelwald and Albus Dumbledore's plan for world domination. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section below as well. And finally, if you haven't already, then please consider subscribing to my channel, Harry Potter Folklore, for more Harry Potter related content. Thank you very much again, everyone, and please don't forget, have a great day.